Hello, everyone. My name is Angelica Garcia, and this is our ELL strategy demonstration presentation. The strategies we will be exploring are strategies 2 and 4. Our presentation will begin with the explanations of
Hello, everyone. My name is Ada Amigan, and I will be explaining what our strategies mean. So, for our first strategy, or strategy two, total physical response, or TPR, is a language learning method where students learn by physically responding to commands in the target language. This helps them connect language with meaning. Developed by Dr. James Asher, it's especially effective for young learners or ELL students, supporting comprehension through physical, mental, and emotional engagement. Total physical response storytelling, on the other hand, or TPRS, builds on this by using storytelling to introduce new vocabulary and grammar. This encourages student participation actively. Both methods make language learning interactive, engaging, and memorable, enhancing retention and understanding. The second strategy, or strategy four, visual scaffolding in education, involves using visual tools like diagrams, charts, and mind maps to help students better understand and learn new concepts. These aids make complex ideas more accessible and provide support for students to retain information which can gradually be removed as their understanding increases. This fosters independence. Okay, so some examples for physical response, or TPR, are action commands, interactive storytelling, vocabulary with movements. These they just have like a general they're both mainly to incorporate physical movements to reinforce learning. So, action commands and interactive storytelling, vocabulary movements, there's more like, object identification. The teacher can point or hold objects like a pencil or a book or a ball, and they can give commands such as, pick up the pencil or pass the ball. Students physically interact with these objects based on the instructions, reinforcing word object associations. Pardon me. And on the other side, for total physical response storytelling, some examples can be storytelling with repetition, interactive story creation, question and answering those questions with actions. There's other things such as, personalized stories, interactive story creation, role playing with new vocabulary, and so much more. And both TPR and TPRS create a multisensory learning environment where language is not only heard but also physically acted out, which this enhances the comprehension and retention. And so for strategy four examples, which would be visual scaffolding. Visual scaffolding in education refers to the use of visual tools and aids to support students' understanding and learning. It helps bridge gaps between what students already know and what they need to learn, making complex concepts more accessible to them. These visuals can take various forms, such as diagrams, charts, mind maps, infographics, and even color-coded information. The goal really is to provide students with external support that helps them grasp these ideas and retain this information. As students progress and their understanding grows, the scaffolding can be gradually removed, or, a concept known as fading, allowing students to become more independent learners. And so some examples could be from the internet, illustrations, or images. And the difference between all of these is they have different examples within those examples. And so for the internet, you could be using Google Images or class-made videos that they've made in class so that they can have a more interpersonal connection with the material that they're studying. Illustrations can be hand-drawn, textbook images, artwork, just any type of artwork or image made by a textbook or people in class, just to help visualize, help the teacher and the students become more personalized with the stuff that they are learning. And images difference from it's different from the past two, the first two examples, because you can use photos taken by students, photos taken by parents, and it helps them. Visual scaffolding is particularly effective for students who are visual learners, those with language barriers, or younger students who may need additional support in understanding abstract concepts. And so, sorry, excuse me. And so there are practical ways that you can incorporate visual scaffolding into, your lessons and whatnot. And so, steps for TPR, going back to TPR as is, it does incorporate with visual scaffolding altogether. Um, they are both teaching they're both language teaching methods that incorporate physical movement to reinforce learning. And so there are a few steps that you can take for this. And by understanding that TPR and TPRS are multi-sensory learning environment methods that you can use. Language can not only be heard, but also physically acted out, which enhances comprehension and retention. And so choosing vocab, modeling actions, and adding more vocab is really just like a huge step, a part of your TPR journey. For when you're modeling the actions or when you're choosing the vocab, you want to set like a select few vocabulary words or phrases that you want students to learn. These should be action-based words, or nouns, that can be easily demonstrated through movement, like jumping, running, clapping, sitting, or touching your head. And when you model these actions, you begin by modeling the vocabulary yourself. You say the word aloud in the target language that you are teaching in while physically performing this action. For example, if you want to teach jump, you say jump and then jump up and down. You want to make sure that you're speaking slowly and clearly so students can hear the word while watching the action. And for adding more vocabulary, this is also just a huge step that incorporates the first two. You you get to a basis where once the students are comfortable with one action, add more words, introduce a few more actions repeating the same process. For instance, after you say jump, you might want to add clap or run, and you can continue having these students, repeat the words and perform the actions. TPRS steps as follows: introducing new vocabulary, building the story out, using TPR to act out. These just genuinely are they can allow you to create a dynamic that is engaging and physically interactive in this learning environment. It helps students build strong connections between language and action. And so here we have introducing new vocabulary, building the story, and using TPR to act the story out. There's a bunch more that you can follow, but these are just some that I thought were very important, and they do affect the visual scaffolding aspect. And so for visual scaffolding steps, excuse me, I decided to follow these by making sure that we make it known that these are just some that you can do. There's a lot more that you can go through, but you can create more of a lively, engaging classroom where language learning is tied to the active participation, the storytelling, and the physical movement. Visual scaffolding and TPR and TPRS go kind of hand in hand. And so, identifying the goals, you can determine what specific concept or skill you want the students to learn. And this could be vocabulary. As we said, you select a few vocabulary words that you would want them to learn and to see you acting out. And this could help the complex process or the broader topic like math operations or historical events become easier for them to learn. Making sure that the learning goal is clear and specific, it will guide the visual scaffolding choices and help them learn better if they are visual learners and active hands-on learners, if that makes sense. And so you can also just choose tools, as I say here, selecting tools. You would choose the appropriate visual aids to support learning objectives. And some common visual tools include diagrams, charts, graphs, mind maps, pictures, illustrations, color-coded notes, and the like. And by introducing visual aids, you will present the visual aid at the beginning of the lesson and or when the introducing the concept, and you can clearly explain what the visual tool represents to them and how it connects to the lesson. You want to make sure that you walk the students through each part of the visual aid so that they can understand their relevance. And by modeling the usage of the visual aid, you can demonstrate the visual aid and how it relates to your lesson. For example, if you are using a concept map, break down the idea step by step, connecting new information to what the students already know, and you can use this visual to clarify and reinforce complex ideas. By explaining any type of symbols, colors, or shapes used in a diagram or chart, this ensures that the students can interpret them correctly.
Now